Caught on tape. A Connecticut man's car erupts in flames. He says he knows why. News 4 New York at 11 starts right now. There was a violent multi-vehicle crash on Long Island this morning, and one person has been killed. Another's in the hospital. I'm David Ushry. Stacey will be working later. This happened just before 8:30 this morning on North Bicycle Road and Middle Country Road in Selden. News 4 Long Island reporter Greg Sergel is at that scene with a story that is new this morning. Greg?
Well, David, one onlooker described the scene here as horrific, and you can see for yourselves, as you said, debris from a pickup truck and two vehicles is strewn all along an eighth of a mile stretch of Middle Country Road. There's pieces of the vehicles as well as personal property like a hat lying in the road. And a car right across from us, that appears to be the one that was ripped apart in this crash. You could see its hood is either crushed or torn off completely. According to Suffolk police, one person was killed in the crash, another suffered minor injuries, and a third was not hurt at all. The identities of the three people have not been released as yet, and police are telling me right now there appears to be no criminality involved. But a business owner who's been on this location for many years says speeding is commonplace over this busy four-lane roadway. He says Middle Country Road is no stranger to bad accidents.
It's horrific. I can't believe they're letting them people do 100 miles an hour on this road. I mean, this from 83 to Nichols Road is the worst stretch in Suffolk County.
We're back live now, and Middle Country Road remains closed right now, and it will stay that way for a while, we're told. Suffolk police still on the scene here trying to assess exactly what happened. They haven't given us details about what they think transpired this morning. Again, the identities of the person who was killed and the two others have not been released. And again, I'll repeat, at this moment, police are saying there's no criminality involved. We're live in Selden. Greg Sergel, News 4 New York.
Okay, Greg, just some horrific images there. In the Bronx, police are looking for the gunman in a deadly double shooting. It happened just after 11 last night at a store in the concourse section on Sheridan and East 167. News 4's Catherine Craig is there. Kat?
And one man was shot and taken to the hospital, David, but the other man tragically lost his life. The shooting happened here at a tobacco shop right here, and crime scene investigators have been taking evidence in and out of this store. We want to show you some video. This is where detectives have spent hours here. They were here since late last night. Police tell us that this was an attempted robbery that ended with two men shot. Bullets struck one man in the leg. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital where he continues to recover. Another man, identified as Kashka Richards, was shot in the head and died. He was only 23 years old. All of this violence unfolded at this tobacco shop on Sheridan Avenue and East 167th Street. People from the neighborhood tell us the man who was killed was well known, well liked, that he helped homeless people on this block. The manager of the store where the shooting happened told us this about the victim.
I saw a guy running, like the best guy out of this neighborhood was running, and somebody was running behind him with a gun, and he was running for his life. This guy was the best guy in this neighborhood. He was to help everybody. We're really missing the best person in this neighborhood. He was to help all these stores around.
And so far, no arrests, but police are gathering surveillance video from area businesses and an NYPD camera on the corner, David, to help in the investigation. Reporting live, Catherine Craig, News 4 New York.
Okay, Kat, thank you. A family in Elizabeth, New Jersey, devastated this morning after their teenage son was hit and killed last night while riding an e-scooter. News 4's Tracy Strahan spoke with the victim's friends this morning. Tracy.
A real tragedy that happened in this very busy intersection, David. And to show you just how popular this program is, we look across the street right in front of that real estate agency. One of those scooters was left here. Many are left wondering just how safe this program really is.
The walk to school started with tears at this busy intersection in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Students mourn the loss of a young friend killed here, not while walking, but riding an electric scooter.
He was really nice. He will always be there for us. He was like my best friend.
It happened around 8 Wednesday night. Authorities confirmed the victim was riding on a Lime scooter, part of a trendy rental program that just launched in Elizabeth at the beginning of the month. He was somehow struck by a large tow truck and pronounced dead from his injuries after being rushed to a local hospital.
He was laying on the ground, like face down, and a scooter was laying next to him. And he wasn't breathing, he wasn't moving.
In a statement, Lime said in part, quote, "We are absolutely devastated by this tragedy, and our hearts go out to the victim's family and friends during this incredibly difficult time." On their Facebook page, Elizabeth Police posted officers on those scooters, previewing what was to come. The company maintains it's against their user agreement for riders to be under the age of 18. But hours after the fatality, we saw a rider who told us he was 13 years old and uses the scooters often.
Elizabeth's a very busy place. Like, there's always cars, and they don't have even space for them to ride. Like, kids get out of school and, stuff happens, The
Lime rental program is up and running in other cities, including Hoboken. And despite local authorities urging caution, some say the latest tragedy on the scooter, sadly, isn't a surprise.
I can see that happening because there's no, like bike lanes, they have to be, they're supposed to be anyway in their lane. So I don't even know if we have a lane for these scooters. So they just on the sidewalk, they just come in front of you. They really do.
Now, authorities in Elizabeth confirmed that the tow truck driver did remain here at the scene, but as the investigation is ongoing, it's unclear if he will in fact face any charges at all. The identity of that victim has not yet been released. In Elizabeth, Tracy Strahan, News 4 New York.
Tracy, thank you. Now we turn to Washington and what could be the end of the public impeachment hearings. Today we're hearing from a former National Security Council expert and an advisor from the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine who says he overheard the president on the phone. News 4's Andrew Siff again following the developments. Andrew?
David, that's right. These are the final scheduled witnesses in the impeachment inquiry. Fiona Hill, a former top national security staffer and Russia expert, and David Holmes, the deputy ambassador who says he overheard Gordon Sondland and Donald Trump on the phone from a Ukrainian restaurant. Hill and Holmes, of course, following Wednesday's bombshell testimony from Gordon Sondland that everyone was in the loop on a quid pro quo scheme to get Ukraine to investigate Trump's political rival. And Hill today said she was especially concerned about that because that investigation followed a conspiracy theory instead of the fact-based conclusion of the intelligence community that Russia undermined the 2016 election.
Without objection, you're written. On September 8th, Ambassador Taylor told me, quote, "Now they're insisting Zelensky commit to the investigation in an interview with CNN." While we had advised our Ukrainian counterparts to voice a commitment to following the rule of law and generally investigating credible corruption allegations, this was a demand that President Zelensky personally commit on a cable news channel to a specific investigation of President Trump's political rival.
Some of you on this committee appear to believe that Russia and its security services did not conduct a campaign against our country, and that perhaps, somehow, for some reason, Ukraine did. This is a fictional narrative.
And right now, the hearings are in a brief recess before they resume with Republican questioning. Once again, these are scheduled to be the last witnesses of the hearing. However, it is possible there will be more witnesses next month. A judge could rule that those who have so far defied subpoenas, like former National Security Advisor John Bolton or Energy Secretary Rick Perry, may ultimately have to testify. David, back to you.
Andrew Siff following the play-by-play for us. Thank you, Andrew. And we thank you for joining us on this abbreviated at 11 for breaking news or any weather updates anytime.